not in front, not to people's faces.
So you talked about like 4 years before going to Paystack, and I remember I want to address two things. Actually, one thing, but in two different timelines of your life. So you've had a co-founder relationship prior to Paystack, right?
What's a co-founder? Like a
Like
relationship with my co-founder?
No, you've had a context where you were a co-founder with a group of people.
Okay, yeah.
And then you've had this co-founder experience in Paystack as well. And one didn't go as well as you would have hoped, and one went well. What do you think was the difference between those two contexts? And what are things that are currently guiding? Because last year, a lot of businesses ended because of co-founder issues, right? So what do you think was the difference, or what do you think were the core things you established in this particular relationship that has helped your relationship thrive?
Yeah. So I think for my previous co-founder type relationships, I was actually, the co-founder part was
silence.
Was just there. For the most part, it was more of like, oh wow, yeah, you are one of the early employees or something, and you are getting like a stake of some sort in the business to start with, like a non-irrelevant stake. So like still kind of relevant to the business to successful, but like at the end of the day, it's less of like, oh, the business was my idea, or it was a joint idea and we came together to establish it or something. So I would say, yeah, so that was the difference. So technically I was just, I considered myself more
co-founding member than co-founder.
Yeah, exactly.
But were there things you noticed back then that you think, were definitely the reason why this didn't work?
Yeah, so I think, of course. So I like to say that all my work experiences, but especially between like 2007 all the way to like 2015, to be very honest, what's it called? Were very good lessons in how not to run a company. So of course, when I was in a position to actually do something, right, and have the agency to do something, or to work with my co-founder to get things done right here, like I had all of that experience to ride on. So yeah.
Teach me 3 ways not to run a business then.
You said?
Teach me 3 ways not to run a business.
What?
You said that if you had that many years of experience learning how not to run a business, then you should, I mean,
there are a number of things. I guess also like just intentional decision making, especially when it comes to like subjects of like people, employees, and all that. People see things differently. So what I'm saying might not necessarily like be gospel and all that. But I'd rather not take decisions that don't acknowledge the fact that this is you setting a precedent. And you are basically like, once you take this decision, you are subsequent decisions in that light would need to like align with the earlier decision that you've taken and all that. Of course, like you can always like switch things up and all, but like when you're switching things up, don't just switch things up in isolation. Like
long-term thinking.
Yes, exactly. Know that you are, exactly. And I think a lot of that ends up like, if you want to build a culture where the people that are in it with you are on board and don't feel cheated at random times, then you would need to like just approach things that way. Approach things in a way that does not make it seem as if you are making decisions on the fly for specific individuals. Because at that point, it's easy to like, at that point, that's favoritism, ultimately, whether you admit it to yourself or not, like that's it. And then those kind of things end up like ruining the word is filling in right now. But ruining the
overall business, or like what it is you're trying to achieve.
Yeah, exactly. Now I was actually trying to like the relationship or within the people who are working with you. So I guess that's like one random thing that I can say. I'll
take that one. It's fine. Okay. So yes, let's enter money conversations. Are you comfortable talking about money?
It depends on what's kind of, yeah.
In what ways do you think money has changed you?
Okay. In what ways? I think so. I think I would say the confidence when it comes to like wanting to get what I want. So prior to now, I'll probably like spend some time like saving and whatnot. And I guess the anxiety of like, wow, what if something comes up that then like disrupts it? And this has happened over time and all that. Yeah. So I guess what has changed is the confidence in like knowing that, oh, okay, yeah, you know what? If I say I want this, I just need to like plan for it, decide when I would get it and ultimately get it. So yeah.
I think the day that your unbelievably liquid thing trended, what you were really trying to talk about was how even if you had money, you still had to be prudent and just ensure that your money was going where you wanted it to go as opposed to somewhere else. But how have you dealt with people wanting to take advantage of you because of money? Because different people deal with this differently, right? A lot of people have to deal with black tax. So people have to deal with like their friends knowing that they've come to some money and then they're like expecting that they pay for everything, expecting that they do. Do you get like there's just this expectation? So how do you deal with that?
Thankfully, I feel like I've not had to deal with it in the scary way that that you just try to explain. And I think that's very much because of how I've lived prior to now anyways. Like I've been very vocal about like, no, like I can't just do that. Like there has to be a reason. I have to like plan towards it. Like basically like the same principles. Like just just having those principles in place has generally helped. So it has, I think if one has been living from a perspective of like, oh, you know, I can't give because I don't have, like if I had, I would have given, then I guess it will now become tough to handle when you have and you are not giving. Like now you're suddenly stingy. Yeah, but like there's nobody that would ask me anything right now that still won't follow the framework that I would have taken with them.
Wait, before. Sorry, you have a framework for giving money, right? Or for giving?
Yeah.
Please, what's the framework?
I just said it, like why, like it has to be important. It has to make sense. Yeah, exactly.
I just, you called it a framework. Then how do you decide if it makes sense to you?
Not just to me, even for the person, right? Like again, okay, let me put it this way. Like you can have a friend who like, oh wow, I want some money because I'm in dire straits, right? The question now becomes from me, it's like, okay, how do we make it such that
the person doesn't come back to that particular position again?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so yeah. So I think even the process of going through that, people who are serious will probably not come back to me because they don't, like you don't want...
You said people who are serious.
No, not even that. Even, including people who are unserious. Like you don't want to, oh wow, like if I ask him for money, it will become an exercise that I don't want to.
They will go to people who it will be easier to ask.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so I think that has helped. So I genuinely don't feel it. Like don't, yeah. There's definitely been like I won't lie, there's been an influx, but it's not been crazy. And it's been one that can be ignored. Yeah.
And within your control.
Yeah, exactly.
Within your control. Okay. So that's cool. So this is something I'm curious about.
Okay.
I don't know why I never asked you in person, but what was going through your mind the day that you got the honor from the president and you just walked away like nothing? Do you remember? Were you mad at him?
No, what? Like in that moment?
Yes.
No, not really. Like I think it was more of I was in this space that I was quite uncomfortable in, especially given like the kind of like just the composition of the room. I was really waiting for it to be
for it to be over.
Yeah, for it to be when they will get to the point where they call basically because they were like getting us to line up, I think 10 each. So we're actually like, ready to come on stage, and then we'll just come on stage and like get it over. So I was just happy to get it over with. That was really what
was it about the environment that made you uncomfortable? Was it like the disorganization, or how you thought things could be more? What?
Already getting into disorganization was already got on my nerves. Yeah, but like, so it's now like just sitting through it. Yeah, till it was done. Yeah. And then there was no networking there as well. So I think they were like just jamming signals or something. So like I actually lost track of my co-founder, and we did not see each other until
the end of the event.
Until we were on the line to go receive our awards.
Yeah, I don't even
think it was like 2 or 3 people in front of me or something like that. And we're like, oh, okay, yeah. And then so I just got it, and then went back to sit down, and then it was over. We went out, and then I checked my phone and realized I was trending. I was like, what? Yeah, it was like that. Very funny.
In better climes, public service is for people like the smartest of the smartest, right? Like the people who, I don't know, it's like a thing of prestige to work in public service. I don't know why that's not, I don't want to believe that it's not that smart people are not there. I don't know what about it is making Nigeria not work. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Let's not go into it.
I think something, I guess I've not said this publicly before, but like I literally found out that I was going to that I had the ON thing the same day everyone found out. Like when the list was published.
That's when you found out.
Yeah, and people were talking about it on the internet. Yeah, there was no email. That was literally how I found out. I already had a trip planned to the UK then, so I had to like cut it. No, I still went because there was something in particular I needed to do. But the plan was like to spend maybe like 10 days. So I just cut it short, and came back like after 2 days for the award. Yeah, so I can go.
Nigeria has changed so much.
A lot, yeah.
If you were president, maybe. I mean, are you saying you can't be president?
I don't think I want the burden that comes with being a politician.
Why?
It feels like you need. Remember what? It feels like you need to pander to people. I don't. At least in Nigeria, I would rather like. Yeah, I don't think Nigeria is ready for
people to stand up back.
Yeah, exactly. For people who do not want to pander. Yeah, and if the voting population would want people they can connect with, someone who wants to tell them the lies they want to hear, then that's probably not me. Yeah, so.
I mean,
that does not mean I've not flirted with the idea of what's it called?
Politics.
Politics once upon a time. I think at some point I was like, oh yeah, you know what, it shouldn't be a bad idea to start from like being a local government chairman or something. But as you grow older, you realize that the system does not even allow for you to have an impact with such a position. So even if you manage to convince the people in your locality that you have sense and they should vote you in, how much agency would you have to actually do things? Yeah. So I guess.
But I think that I can trust you to pick the right people in your cabinet because you're pretty good at seeing through. I don't know how you do it, Sha, to be honest. You can literally see through. I don't know what your compass is to be able to see through people and decide, okay, this is what I want for my team. This is what I want for my life. It's interesting, or I wouldn't lie. It is.
Yeah, but I guess it's a combination. I won't necessarily say I have like this magic eye that I used to like see people. I think there's also something, I think a lot of people don't interact with this part of life a lot, but there's a lot to do with like just being able to influence people to do what you want, for lack of a better word, but like being able to influence the outcomes that you want, within your immediate environment. So, so I think so it's less of like, oh wow, I see that you are the perfect person for this, but more of like when we start working together, you will end up being the person for the role.
Is there any question you would want to ask me as I wrap up?
Did you enjoy this conversation?
I did. So funny enough, like I told you, I know you're shy, but I could tell immediately conversation started.
Oh, okay.
Because, no, I'll tell you later. Or should I just tell you?
Yeah, you can.
So the direction of your eye is on purpose not looking at the camera, and is on purpose looking at me-ish. Like, so I think that was something now I'm like, even if I ever doubted that you were shy, I know for sure that you're shy. But minus that, I like that you didn't let that hinder the conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that you didn't let it hinder. And I'm also glad that there was no question I asked you that you said, I declined to comment. You found ways to answer them, at least.
Yeah.
I'll take that as a win.
That's good. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you too.
Wait, it's one last thing. What's your favorite thing about yourself?
What? I don't know.
Will you think about it?
Yeah, I'll think about that. Let you know.
You're about to thank me. I'll take it. Thank you for not
asking difficult questions.
It's easy talking to me. You guys,
or for not making it difficult to answer your questions.
Well, we're done. We're really done. Okay, a good end. We shall do that.
What's the wrap up? How do you do it? Or what's the idea of your wrap up?
I think that this is exactly how we're going to wrap up. You asking me what the idea for the wrap up is, and me saying that I don't know, and we will just leave. I don't have a plan. This is actually one of the weirdest things. I always have plans for any show that I'm doing or anything but this is one of the times where the only thing I'm sure about is what I want to talk about. But the beginning and the end, I have no clue. Let's wrap up. How should we wrap up?
So I think I suck when it comes to like, even when I'm writing, when my closings are always like very weird to me. Exactly, because I'm like, yeah, how do I close this out?
So should we stay on brand?
Shit.
Wow. Wow.
Oh.
No words.
Wow. How do we repeat all of that? I used to come up something else. Yeah. I was like just going.
Exactly. I was about to tell you that maybe we're going to do like an abrupt wrap up in line with your newsletter. So we stay on brand. So thank you so much, Ezra, for coming on this. I'm so glad that you made it. I missed your very busy schedule, by the way. Hope you had fun.
Yes, I did. Yeah, thanks.